Hi everybody, Alexis MV here, and I am doing this video because I'm really determined to stay with doing one a week. So this is going to be a short video that I came up with today, and it's a demonstration that I often give in clinics that helps you to understand the development of the horse's balance and why it's so important to go about it correctly. And I think it will also make it so that if you're really struggling with your horse being uphill or correctly on the bit, you will have a really simplified understanding of why that might be. And I just think it's a really useful tool in being able to comprehend like what is happening when we bring the horse along. So I'm going to use this whip to demonstrate how the horse goes and how we're going to develop them. So we're going to pretend that this whip is the horse's back and neck, and basically just like the top line, underline of the horse. So the head of the horse is up here, and the rear of the horse is the handle of the whip. So when we have a young horse or a horse in its natural state, they are on the forehand. Even if you have a really modern type warm blood, they might be built with a really high neck and wither, but the horse biologically, its weight is on the front legs. It's just the way that they are built. And there's nothing wrong with that, that's just the way the horse is designed. So when the horse is on the forehand and we start to ride them, what we would like to have happen is that we develop some pushing power from the hind legs, and we ask the horse to start to lift its head and neck so that it isn't going with its head and neck on the ground like it's grazing, like they would do in nature. And developing the pushing power from the hind end gets the horse to be in a level balance. So we might be talking about like a 3 or 4 year old that's now in a level balance. And this is the prerequisite for us to develop them further. So once the horse is in a level balance, if we add impulsion and we get the horse to step energetically with the hind legs in the appropriate tempo and start to push upwards with the hind legs lower because they push off the ground harder, then the horse starts to come in a slightly up balance. And when the horse is in a slightly up balance, if there becomes a contact and a gentle regulating connection with the hand, then the horse can be able to push more uphill and arch the neck and lift the withers and flex at the pole. And eventually that leads to a horse who's very collected and the hindquarters are really lowered, the withers in the neck are lifted, and the horse just falls into the contact. The neck just reaches into the connection from an arched position with the nose forward. And this is the desired state. What I unfortunately often see happen, or what people are taught to do instead of that progression, is that we have a horse that starts out in that downhill balance like we talked about, and we're told to get the horse to round its neck or put its nose down or flex at the pole, right? And what happens is now we have a horse who is on the forehand with its neck pointed down. And if from this position we send them driving along, what happens is the horse is out of balance and we're pushing them and we're pushing them and we're pushing them, and the back lowers. As you can see, it makes a dip here with the neck down. And so we have put the back into a state of like tension and locked, and we're pulling the horse more onto the forehand. And another alternative that sometimes will happen is maybe you somehow luckily get the horse into a level balance, but then we're told to pull the neck in, put the nose in, and we have this happening, and we can't drive the horse more forward for whatever reason, and so they just pull themselves downhill, and maybe the back is level, but they just pull themselves downhill because they don't have impulsion, and the weight of the head and the neck pulls the horse more onto the forehand. So we don't have the same problem as before with the back hollowing, but we've pulled the horse onto the forehand. Because the head and neck do not work like a pulley system. Putting the head and neck down isn't like pulling on the end of a rope over a pulley that magically pulls the withers in the back up. It just doesn't work that way. The musculature isn't attached in such a way that leveraging the head down magically brings the back up. Putting the head down just loads the weight to the front legs and makes gravity take effect. And those horses will often be strung out behind. The croup comes higher. So another alternative of something that can happen negatively is we're taught to bring that head in, bring the neck down, and maybe you're a really, really strong rider and you have a super strong leg, super strong seat, and you can drive the hind legs to go under forward. And then what we get is this hyper arching of the back with the neck way down and the butt way down, and the horse's lumbar spine locks upwards, and this is low, deep, and round riding or roll-cur riding, and this horse is not uphill. This horse is constrained and crammed together from both ends, and they will often be really resistant, and really only a super strong rider can force them to go into this posture, and it's detrimental to the horse's well-being overall. The other last alternative that sometimes can happen is that we recognize that we don't want the horse to go down here, so instead we try to take the head up when the horse is still on the forehand. So we take the head up and then try to flex them this way, and the hind legs have yet to lower and engage when they're on the ground, and so we're pushing the withers down while pulling the head up, and the hind legs never develop the carrying power that we need for the horse to be in an uphill balance. So again, just as a reminder of how it looks when we do it correctly, is that we develop the horse in the level balance, we push them into engaging the thoracic sling and lifting the front end slightly by impulsion from the hindquarters, and then the light half halts and development of the contact encourage the horse to arch the neck and enable it to push more uphill. And this makes a back that is limber and easy to sit on, and a horse that doesn't resist you, because we've developed their balance in a way that works for their body and makes them happy to comply. So I hope this gives you a really simple understanding of how the horse should develop over time, and the ways that it can go wrong in their back and their top line, and maybe give you a little insight into why you're struggling against your horse or you're working against each other, because you're not helping them to develop in that way. All right, thanks for watching.